Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to Melinda's Messy Sink. Today's video is super special. I have a kitchen helper today. This is my niece Leah. She is 10 years old and she is visiting me while my husband's out of town. She wanted to come out and keep me company. And one of her favorite things to do is cook. So we're gonna make some great recipes for you today. Leah, what kind of food are we making today?
Today we're making a triple threat cake, peanut butter cake.
Okay.
And some sort of pie.
Okay. So today our focus is on peanut butter. In my area, Jif had a massive recall due to some kind of contamination, and Jif peanut butter is finally back in stock. So I thought, let's pay homage to Jif peanut butter. So let's go ahead and get started with our first recipe. So what we've done is we've measured out all the ingredients, and Leah's gonna do some pouring for us. All right, Leah, so the recipe says that we are going to add our flour to the bowl, and then we're gonna add sugar, and then we're gonna add baking soda and salt. And I'll be sure to have this recipe listed in the description box below. We found this recipe online from the farm stand. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine all these ingredients together with our whisk. So we're just gonna mix all that up. We have our oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we have our sheet pan, 12 by 17 sheet pan. We have that covered in nonstick cooking spray. All right, so now that our dry ingredients are all mixed together, we're going to push that to the side and start working on the wet. We have started on the wet ingredients. We have 2 eggs that Leah has beaten, and to our eggs, we're gonna add the butter. Next, we're gonna add vegetable oil. And then the recipe says to add cold coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't like it, and we're gonna leave that part out. Next, we're going to add heavy whipping cream. We have vanilla and butter flavoring. We're gonna add that in. And then last, we're gonna add our creamy peanut butter. And then we're gonna get that mixed together. So Leah, what's your favorite subject in school this year?
Math.
Math? You're doing good in math too, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Good. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna combine our wet ingredients with our dry ingredients. Math is your favorite subject.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bet you everybody doesn't know that you play volleyball.
Oh, but I do.
Yes, you are very good at playing volleyball. Is this your first year playing volleyball?
Nope.
What makes you like volleyball the most?
Just the sport in general.
Okay, let's add the rest of our dry ingredients in there. All right, as you remember, I said that I was not gonna add the cold coffee. Well, I don't have enough ingredients in here to make this wet, so we're just gonna add some plain water. We're gonna add a cup of water instead of a cup of coffee. Now, let's give this a mix and see how it does. I think that looks like cake batter, don't you?
Yeah.
I have my 12 by 17 sheet pan, and I have sprayed it with nonstick cooking spray. I'm gonna add my cake batter into the pan. Leah wants me to do this part, although she would have been awesome doing it. As I mentioned, we have our oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to put this in our oven middle rack for 20 minutes. Our cake has about a minute left, so we're going to go ahead and start on the frosting. This frosting goes on a warm cake. So we have a stick of butter, and we're going to add creamy peanut butter. We're going to let this warm up until it comes to a boil, and then we'll be back for next steps.
Our cake's out of the oven, and when it's finished, it should look like this.
Our peanut butter and butter mixture is boiling, so now we're gonna put our frosting together. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our peanut butter mixture and we're going to put it in our bowl. It's nice and loose. Then we're gonna add milk and vanilla into our peanut butter. Great job. And then we're gonna start adding our powdered sugar. Now the recipe says if your icing is too thick, then you can always add more flour. Milk. You can add more milk. So we're gonna get ours really smoothed out, and if you cannot do it with a whisk, then feel free to use a hand mixer as well, but we're gonna keep working on ours. And with this frosting, just keep in mind you're gonna have to work fast because as it starts cooling off, then that peanut butter is gonna set back up. Our frosting is done and we're just gonna pour it all over the top. Leah, does this not smell absolutely delicious?
I know, it smells so good.
So we are putting this on a warm cake, where most of the time you want your cake to be cooled. This said that you want your cake to be warm. Y'all, I'm just trying to get some icing all over the cake.
Oh, girl.
Yep. And this is real life, so that's what happens whenever your cake is warm, so it doesn't have time to set up. All right, so we're gonna pretend like that did not happen. All right, and then you're just gonna take peanuts. Hopefully there's not too bad of a glare, you can see. We've just got chopped peanuts, and Leah's gonna add some to the top, just all over the place. Not a ton, but just spread them out all over, Leah. Just take your time. Good job. All right, now I'm gonna give these peanuts just a little bitty tap to make sure that they're down in the frosting, not hard, just ever so lightly. Just to make sure that they don't go anywhere. We're gonna put this cake to the side and let it cool completely. Our cake, our triple threat peanut butter cake, or however the name of it is, I'll make sure it's in the description box, is done. Y'all, let me tell you, if you're a peanut butter lover, you need to try this. It is a super moist, thin cake with peanut butter fudge on top is what it tastes like. It is so good. Leah, did you like it?
Yeah.
It is so good. Like, it is so good. And I have a whole sheet pan of it. So Leah, some of this is going to your house tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, Leah, high five. One recipe down. Next up is peanut butter pie. It is one of my favorites, and I found a recipe because I've never made homemade peanut butter pie before. So this is hopefully going to be delicious. Let's go ahead and get started.
Hopefully it's good.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's gonna be good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna start with the peanut butter crumb on the top, and we have some peanut butter in a small bowl, and Leah's going to add
Powdered sugar.
some powdered sugar, and we're gonna use a hand mixer, and we're gonna get this combined well.
Did you do it on medium power?
I did a little bit of everything.
Oh.
All right, so what we're doing is we're just making the crumb for the top. So we're not gonna go over here with this powdered sugar stuck to the bowl. We're gonna pick up these little pieces right here and put them on top of our pie. Try one of these. That's really good, isn't it? Yeah. So we're gonna stay away from, the part where I think this bowl was a little bit damp, so our powdered sugar stuck to it. But we're gonna pick up these sand-like pieces for the top of our pie. For right now, we're gonna set this to the side. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna start on the pie filling. We are deviating from the recipe. I'm gonna have the recipe listed in the description box below. It calls for 1 9-ounce pie crust. I'm using 2 6-ounce chocolate pie crusts. So I'm hoping to have enough filling to fill up 2 of these pie crusts, even if it's not all the way up. But I want to try the chocolate crust instead of the regular. So we're gonna set those pie crusts to the side, and the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna add some vanilla pudding. We are using the 3.4 ounce instant vanilla pudding mix in our pie filling. Leah's gonna pour it in there. We're gonna add milk. And then we're also going to add peanut butter. All right, and now we're just gonna use a hand mixer and we're gonna mix this up for 2 minutes. We almost forgot one important ingredient, but we've got our pudding started and our peanut butter combined. So now we're gonna add about a half of container, maybe a little bit more, of whipped topping. And this is defrosted. Our pudding peanut butter mixture is finished. We may have done a taste test and it is super duper yummy. I did end up adding a couple more tablespoons of peanut butter just because I wanted a little bit more of a peanut buttery taste than a vanilla taste. But it is super good either way, but just know that you have that flexibility if you like it more peanut buttery to add more peanut butter. So I've got my lids off of my chocolate crust and I'm gonna attempt to do half and half. All right, so I think we're looking pretty good, don't you? So we're gonna add a little bit more to each pie filling because we're trying to get them even. So we've got our pie filling in, and next we're gonna add some more Cool Whip to the top. I am not the best spreader, as you guys know. All right, and you don't really have to worry completely about the top because our topping that we made is going to cover up the top. And we're just gonna add some crumbs all over the top of our pie. All right, so while Leah does her pie, I wanted to let you know we're gonna put our lids back on these pie crusts, and we are going to let these chill for about 4 or 5 hours, just to make sure everything's all set up. We just wanted to come back and finish off this video. Here is our peanut butter pie. I haven't tried mine yet, but Leah has. How was it?
Oh my gosh, it's delicious.
She says it's delicious with a mouthful of pie. So make sure you give this one a try. I'll have the recipe linked in the description box below. 2 peanut butter desserts in the books. Great job. And we've even got the kitchen cleaned up, which is even triple bonus. Yeah. So thank you all so much for following along. I appreciate you coming to cook with me and always spend time with me because I love you to pieces. And I want to thank you for following along as we made 2 peanut butter desserts. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. I'll see you guys in the next one.